and Simon Brown, and Hopkins' only loss at this weight level was to you back in 1993. Since then, he has had relatively small fights and relatively small paychecks for a world champion whose only major blemish on his record is a loss to Roy Jones Jr. He claims he's a victim of the business conditions in the sport. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree to some degree, Jim, but I mean, what can he expect? Who does he have down there in the middleweight division to contend with him? I mean, I couldn't stay down there and just fight him and fight him and fight him and fight him, you know? I mean, I probably
once was enough for you.
Yeah, once was good enough. I mean, I don't have nothing to prove to him. I wasn't going to sweat down and make the weight. It's too much of a struggle for me, and they weren't going to pay me enough money to make that type of sacrifice anyway. So I had to go on to bigger and better things, and there's not really anybody else there for that. I'm kind of in the same situation. I cleared out my super middleweight division, and there's nothing else there for me. So now here I am with opposition that shouldn't even be in my mind facing me. And, you know, so it's something that we all get caught up in sometimes. I don't think it's all the business. I think it's the opponent list, too.
All right. Hopkins gets ready to fight a guy named Simon Brown, who's had a colorful and certainly successful background in the sport, Larry. In fact, just 3 years ago, Simon Brown got $1 million to fight against Terry Norris at 154 pounds. Now tonight he gets $35,000 to challenge for Hopkins' title at 160. What does this tell us about Brown's chances in the fight?
Well, either he's an old warrior who desperately needs money, and he's willing to fight for, in effect, what is an hourly wage for him, or he just wants to take a shot at another title. One thing we do know is that not long ago, he went into bankruptcy. He said he did it for business reasons. He still owns a $500,000 home in Maryland and property back in his native Jamaica. Be that as it may, Brown, who was a very good welterweight champion at one time, presumably feels that he can pull off the same kind of upset tonight that he did with Terry Norris with his punch. But there's no plan B, Jim.
No, Simon Brown is a guy who comes and stands in front of you and hopes to do damage and hopes that you don't do too much damage to him first. He's lost 4 of his last 7 fights because he's been getting hit too much. Tail of the tape between Bernard Hopkins and Simon Brown. And we told you about the population crisis at 154 pounds, where there are so many good fighters clustered and waiting for economic opportunities. The population is much sparser at 160, where Hopkins and Brown meet tonight. 2.5-inch height advantage for Hopkins, who's much more the natural middleweight in the fight. Brown coming up after a long career in lower weight classes, and a 1/2-inch reach advantage for Hopkins as well. Rules of the bout with Harold Letterman.
The Bernard Hopkins-Simon Brown fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold. And Simon Brown will make his way into the ring first. 337 rounds. That's an awful lot of boxing over the years for Simon. Clean-livered, no bad habits. But he has been in a lot of high-contact experiences, including that fight with Norris a few years ago, and that doesn't stand you in good stead over the long haul.
It was 2 fights with Norris, wasn't it? He beat Norris.
That's right. He stopped Norris in 4 rounds. Norris getting a little cocky about his punching power and getting punched out instead. Then in the rematch, Norris reclaimed the title with a 12-round decision.
And a closer look at Simon Brown. We told you 4 wins in his last 7 fights coming into tonight. So as Simon now stays warm in the ring, Bernard Hopkins will make his way in. Championship belt precedes Hopkins, who is nicknamed the Executioner. 9 years of ring experience for Bernard, who Began learning to box when he did a 5-year stint in reform school / prison after having gotten into trouble as a teenager. Ever since he's been out of the big house, an ordered life.
And one of the brightest, quickest, smartest fighters we've ever talked to.
Yeah, that's true, Larry. Just a great high-energy conversationalist. Once you get him started talking, he never stops.
Yeah, and when we ask him about the difference between him and Reed, who's already made $2 million, and he's struggling to get to wherever he's trying to get, never making the big payday, he said, look, he's earned everything he's made. He says, I don't want to do what they do in the neighborhoods called, what do they call it? Player hating. Hating the guys who do it. Because Reed's done it, give him the credit. I got to get there.
It was a very graceful thing to say for Hopkins, given his dissatisfaction with his business experiences. We mentioned the 4 years in reform school. Lost his pro debut when he entered at 175, quickly realized that he wasn't a 175-pound fighter. Came down in his next fight, he was fighting at 160, and as we told you, 34 wins in the last 35 fights, the only loss to Roy Jones Jr. He did have a draw in Ecuador when he went down to Ecuador to fight a mandatory title fight and had only 2 days at 11,000 feet of altitude. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, America presents, in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Present 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World. Sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation President Robert W. Lee, IBF Supervisor at ringside Marion Muhammad. Also sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Stephen Katz, Deputy Commissioner John Greco. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Eric Wormser, Dr. Richard Snipar, and Dr. Roland Lascari. Timekeeper at the bell, Lindsey Tucker. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Michael Ortega. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Bill Graham, William Hutt, and Joseph Pasquale. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, working for the 81st time in a world title bout, referee Rudy Battle. And now for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. From Donald J. Trump's Taj Mahal Casino Resort here in Atlantic City, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and gold and weighing 160 pounds. In his professional career, he has 47 victories, 34 by knockout with 6 losses, and he has captured 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Mount Airy, Maryland, here is the challenger, former 2-time world champion, Simon Montequilla Bro. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, trimmed with gold, and also weighing 160 pounds, his professional record. 33 victories, including 25 knockouts, with only 2 defeats and 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, presenting the defending 2-time middleweight champion of the world, Bernard, the Executioner Hopkins.
Bernard. Okay, gentlemen, you've received your pre-fight instructions. I expect a clean break at all times and listen to my commands at all times. Watch the low blows, watch the holding and hitting. Watch your heads in there. Any questions in here? Touch them up. Let's go to work. Touch them up.
Hopkins told us he can't dance like Prince Ahmed. He can't play basketball like Roy Jones. All he can do is fight. Here he is doing what he can do.
In the corner, Simon. Simon. In the corner. In the corner, Bernie. In the corner.
Roy, what do you see as a potential advantage for Simon Brown in this fight?
Actually, I don't see a lot of advantages for Simon, except his big punch. Hopkins is a boxer, and usually the boxer is at the advantage from the get-go. But Hopkins is a boxer that can punch. And you also have to remember that Simon is coming up from the welterweight division. And he wasn't a welterweight early in his career who moved up to junior middleweight and light heavyweight and middleweight. He was a welterweight in the prime of his career.
Well, it looks like Hopkins from the get-go here is trying to send us home, if not early, not too late.
Yeah, because he's already counted Simon's first 2 punches.
You mean now that he's fighting at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's not sure he wants to fight until 2 o'clock in the morning?
There may be some fights in Atlantic City at this hour, but normally people don't get paid for them.
Yeah, normally don't have gloves on.
And it has to feel weird to these 2 guys. I mean, they're probably sleepy already, so a good puncher, go ahead and take them where they need to go.
Well, great veterans of the sport, both with some unusual experiences. Yeah, and the left hook straight at the face of Simon Brown, and leaping right hand lands as well for Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins wasn't terribly aggressive against you, Roy Jones. He started out much more aggressively here in this fight against Simon Brown.
Well, here he's fighting a smaller fighter. When he fought me, I was bigger than he was. And I was a strong puncher. I was a boxer just like himself. And if he started early, he knew it would cause him all kinds of conflict. So he fought a smaller fight against me. Here he's way bigger than Simon physically. So he needs to go ahead and overpower Simon.
Yeah. He's trying to send Simon Brown a message that he's just too small for him. I don't know if Simon Brown has received it yet. He's a great old warrior.
Good counter left hook there by Bernard Hopkins. This has been a strong Hopkins round in the first round. Have to question whether Brown's vaunted punching power will travel up with him at this stage of his career to 160 pounds. But he hasn't really fought down at 154 for 3 years. He's been drifting in 155, 158, kind of gradually making his move up here.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Simon.
Yep.
No wrestling, no wrestling.
Landed high on the head of Hopkins.
Let him go. No punching. Step back. Nice.
One thing I do agree about Bernard Hopkins is he is improving in every fight. Every fight I see, he does do something a little bit different and a little bit better than he did last time.
It was a long time, many decades in boxing, when a lot of glamour would automatically have attached to the identity of being the best 160-pound fighter in the world. Bernard Hopkins is, by most accounts, the best 160-pound fighter in the world, and he carries virtually no glamour as the result of it.
Okay? Breathe while I talk to you, champ. Things looking good. You need to close the gap a little more with that jab. Step with the jab, okay? And when you step, you got to get low for me, all right? Your hands are just as fast as his. You touch with that right hand. But don't go. Give me a little jab in there, son. Give me the water. Give me the water. Little jab for me, baby. All right? All right, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Just settle down. Go with our jab, right? You can't jab too much. Okay, just stay with the jab. Stay with it. Just strong jab. Then you go with the big punch, all right?
The message there was, slow down. You're a little over-anxious in that round, right, Roy?
Yep. And if you're too over-anxious, you're going to run into something big.
By CompuBox numbers, it was a pathetic first round for Simon Brown, who threw only 23 punches and landed only 4. And his legs look stiff, Roy.
Yeah, but like I said, he's toting a bigger weight. He's toting too much weight for his normal frame now. He's not used to carrying this kind of weight fighting.
All right, break. Stop punching. Step back. Watch your head. No holding. Both hands are free. No holding. Turn him loose.
This is the fight Simon wants right here. He wants an inside fight. He doesn't want to fight on the outside.
And now Simon begins to step up the activity level in round 2. And seems a little better balanced, too, as he continues to follow Hopkins around the ring.
Hopkins is giving him good movement because he knows Simon has to set his feet before he can punch.
Yeah, Hopkins acknowledged to us yesterday that his only fear in the fight would be if he, for some reason, went brain dead and stood stock still in front of Simon Brown. He said, look, if I go to either side and give him an angle, Simon can't find me. He's a straight-ahead fighter who has to have his opponent right in front of him. You agree?
Yeah, he likes for his opponent to sit still so he can throw the big punches. If you don't sit still, then he's not going to throw the big punches too often. That's why he didn't throw the 12 punches in the first round.
Hopkins is dazzling Brown so far with lateral movement, pausing to land combinations and then moving off side to side.
Stop punching. Step back.
In Philadelphia, has a lot of followers here in the crowd who come down the turnpike tonight.
While you're holding it, hit him, turn him loose, stop punching.
You meant Hopkins, right?
I meant Hopkins, excuse me. Yeah.
But Brown isn't too far. He lives in Maryland.
No punching after the ball.
Another big round for Bernard Hopkins.
All right.
Philadelphia's own.
All right, let's settle down a little more. Baby.
Let's take a look at the top middleweights in the world. Bernard Hopkins, generally recognized as the champion. Tonight, William Joppy reclaimed his championship belt by beating Julio Cesar Green, who had earlier defeated him, and Keith Holmes has got the other belt.
Go hit it with it. They can duck it. He can't duck it all night long. All right? Yeah, man. All right, baby.
It's my show, baby.
It's your show.
The world, baby.
It's your show. Go to him with the double jab. Stay focused. Stay loose.
Second jab.
Loose,
Second jab.
Don't stare. Loose. Jab, son. Don't forget the jab.
Another CompuBox numbers blowout in round 2. Hopkins landing 21 of 45. Brown throwing only 27 punches and landing 7. So Simon Brown continues not to be able to put out a lot of punches, and Hopkins continues to fight circles around him in the ring.
Break. Keep him up. Step out. Nice and straight. Keep him up. Turn him loose. Let him go. No hold it. All right, right here him. Let him go. Step out. Step back. No hold.
Bernard's doing a smart thing and working Simon's body. I know he feels the size advantage in there. So he's trying to push the little man around a little bit and work his body, wear him down so he won't be so strong in the last round, in case it's a long fight.
It's been going so easily for Bernard that it would be quite predictable for him to lose sight of his fight plan and just go ahead and try to attack Simon and take him, but he's showing some patience instead.
Yeah, because he knows that Simon is a seasoned veteran, and you can't just walk in on Simon.
Tripling with the left hook. ducking the wild swing from Brown and coming back with more. Punch, step to the side. Combination, step to the side.
But Simon can't stand this. This is not Simon's type of fight. Simon wants you to sit still in front of him so he can fight you. That's why he's not punching.
All right, break. You're holding. Clean loose. Let him go. Step back.
But that's how most power punchers are, Jim. A power puncher wants to steal target so he can put all his power into it. He wants to be able to see where that punch is going from start to finish.
Nice and clean.
So Simon Brown is going to have to hope as time goes on that
good hook by
Hopkins' legs will betray him and he'll have more of a stationary target. But Hopkins looks like a man trained and mentally prepared to fight his fight. And he's doing it to the virtual closeout so far of Simon Brown.
He says it's time to eat the best food and drive the best cars, and he's fighting like it.
Throw the body shot as soon as you get it inside. That's perfect. You got to the body.
Well, trust us, we do our research. Her name is Tess Lombardo. And Tess Lombardo, in case you're wondering, is in marketing. She's helping to market this fight right now. She's helping to market this telecast. She's marketing our network.
You all right, baby? Oh, let's double that jab a little bit if you get in there. All right? Okay, son. Don't gamble too much from the outside. Put it right here. Put it right there. All right, baby. Get inside the body. Break the left arm.
Round 4. Nice and clean.
No visible damage so far on the face of Simon Brown, but if he keeps getting hit like that, he'll show it and feel it tomorrow morning. Hopkins comes out throwing wildly to begin round 4 and landed 2 big punches to start the round.
All right, break. Stop punching. Stop. Watch your head. Step back, Bonnie. Step back.
There's a chant of Simon, 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 but Brown able to do very little to excite his followers. Got in a left-hand shot to the body there, but Hopkins landed twice.
See, Hopkins can go in almost at will because he's so much bigger than Simon. Simon's punches won't have as much effect on Hopkins as Hopkins' punches will have on Simon.
Hopkins weighed in at 160, enters the ring tonight at 166. You've seen those situations recently here on HBO where fighters will gain 14, 15 pounds between weigh-in and when they enter the ring. The fact that Hopkins only gained 6 pounds shows us he's fighting at his natural fighting weight.
Yes, he is.
Step back.
What did Simon enter the ring at?
Well, let me check that out. Brown also came in at 166. Exactly the same as Hopkins.
Yeah, but it's different in the build. It's different in the frames. Look at the frames.
Hopkins is all muscle.
Yeah, Hopkins has been up to 175. In fact, I think his first fight he started was at a cruiserweight.
Yes, 175. He fought at 177 the first time out.
Okay, yeah.
So he's been bigger, as you point out. And Brown used to fight at 147.
In his prime.
Yep. It's a difference, no question.
He's told us that he's willing to go down to 154 to fight some of those junior middleweights. I don't see where he can come down anymore. He's got a 28-inch waist.
Hopkins.
Stop punching.
Did you see Hopkins getting down to 154?
Yeah, I think he can make 154. If he's no higher than 166 now, I'm almost sure he can go to 154. When I used to weigh in at 160 or 158 and a half, whatever I weighed in at, I used to come in the ring almost 175.
All right, let him go. Here I am. Stop punching in there. Stop punching.
So if he only went up 6 pounds, I know for a fact he can make 154.
How would he do against, say, Yori Boy Campus at 154?
Actually, it's not a dream where they can beat Hopkins right now.
I confess I'm a little surprised that Brown has stood up to some of the big punches that Hopkins has hit him with. I don't think Hopkins is a big puncher.
Brown has a good chin.
Well, you can't defend the title 8 times and not have a good chin, even if it was down in the welterweight area.
Straight right hand landed to punctuate another one-sided Bernard Hopkins round. We got a chance to see some of the most one-sided CompuBox numbers in quite a while in this bout, as Simon Brown has not been able to get off.
That's called research, and like you said, we've been known for our research where so has Bernard Hopkins. His corner has researched Simon so well until they know that if you give Simon a moving target, he is not going to willingly punch at it.
See that jab downstairs. See the jab downstairs.
More water. That jab working to the body is fine. Okay? You can send that right hand low sometime, right here.
There's that right hand. Brown took it, came back.
With 2 impressive body shots.
2 of the 9 punches he landed in the round. Moments few and far between for Simon Brown against Bernard Hopkins in the 5th round of their scheduled 12-round middleweight championship fight. Welcoming you to February 1. Harold Letterman, how'd you score through the first 4?
Jim, I'm impressed. 4-0, 40-36, a shutout, Bernard Hopkins. Jim, he really shows me everything. Power, movement, side to side, effective aggressiveness, good ring generalship. He just controls this fight with that side to side movement, and certainly real pinpoint punching and great defense. Brown can't hit him.
That's a good point, Harold. Brown has just not been able to hit him.
Let him go.
See, this is the kind of stuff you have to consider when you consider moving up in weight to fight a bigger guy. Now, although they're the same weight, look how easy it is for Bernard to just go in and overpower Simon. If he had 10 or 12 pounds, and I'm looking at 60, you know what I'm saying? It's such a big difference.
Yep. Scales can tell you the number, but they don't tell you what kind of a body you're talking about.
Yeah, but when you're talking about 50 pounds, it doesn't really make a lot of difference what kind of body you're talking about.
Yep.
When
Brown manages to sneak in a left hand.
When I fought Bernard, I was virtually a one-handed fighter. But Bernard was one of the best boxers that I ever faced still. But I was so much bigger than Bernard that I knew that I could beat Bernard with no problems because of my size. He couldn't hurt me, and I was so quick.
So you fought him with the left hand alone?
One hand alone. In fact, Coach Merck asked me 3 months.
There's a hard right hand by Hopkins.
By both fighters. Coach Merck asked me 3 months before the fight to pull out of the fight because of the condition of my right hand.
Action heating up in round 5 of this one. Simon Brown has finally managed to find a couple of openings to land shots against Hopkins, but now Hopkins goes back to the side-to-side movement, which has, for the most part, kept him out of the sights of Simon Brown.
Let me tell you, Hopkins is fighting a brilliant fight here tonight.
Hopkins feeling awfully confident now as he drops his hands and loads up against Simon Brown. But he keeps his distance while he does it. And Brown doesn't get a chance to take a shot. You know, Boxing After Dark returns 6 days from tonight with light heavyweight champion William Guthrie taking on Reggie Johnson and lightweight champ Shane Mosley battling Demetrius Sabalas. That's February 6th at 10:30 p.m. Boxing After Dark at 10:30 that night. Guthrie looking to move into the light heavyweight spotlight, which will be vacated by Roy Jones if Jones follows through on the possible plan to move up and fight a heavyweight.
Pick the
What do you think of Guthrie, Roy?
Guthrie's a good fighter. Guthrie came up in my amateur class. He was a very good fighter. He had trouble with boxers back then, but I think he's made a lot of adjustments. And he's a strong puncher, so I think Guthrie's a great champion.
Accommodate to that body.
I got a question, Roy.
Yes, sir.
Bernard Hopkins told us he left his promoter, Butch Lewis, starting when he found out that in his fight with you, both of you guys were supposed to get $700,000 in its entirety. Whoops!
Blistering uppercut by Hopkins deposits Brown on the seat of his pants.
Now, Brown does not know where he is. He doesn't have a clue right now of where he is. Brown has no idea of what is going on right now. He is totally amazed. Look at his eyes. He doesn't know what's going on in this ring.
That was some uppercut that Hopkins landed. And Brown in serious trouble now against the ropes. Rudy Battle talking to both fighters. Now Brown is able to throw back, but Hopkins still landing.
Oh, my goodness. He's getting tortured here.
That's enough.
Yes.
That's enough. Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah. Bernard Hopkins with a 6th round closeout of Simon Brown. And I want to see that uppercut again.
Good work, sir. Good work, baby.
Bernard Hopkins leaning through the ropes. Congratulations, Bernard. Heck of a performance.
Bernard said he wanted to do something spectacular. He had the right opponent to do it with, and he did it.
And then he tried to call out Roy Jones, but I don't think you're moving back to 160 pounds anytime soon.
Can't make 160.
And let's see how effective Bernard Hopkins is at 160. Here's the first knockdown, Larry.
Yeah.
Oh,
he had softened Brown up for 4 rounds and delivered the coup de grace with that right uppercut.
Pretty lengthy uppercut. Normally you're not supposed to try to reach with the punch, but the target was out there just waiting for it.
The target had been there for him all night.
And here's what prompted Rudy Battle to finally stop the punishment. And now the Hopkins members of the crowd are chanting Roy Jones, Roy Jones. Roy Jones.
They're saying that he's the best.
It's been done once. Well, it says a lot about you, Roy, that you were able to beat a guy pretty handily who's this good, because you saw right there, this is one of the better fighters in the world.
Yeah, he is one of the better fighters in the world. So that shows a little bit about my reputation, about what I've been through. But you know, I came through all that. I struggled to come up just like he did. I work hard for my living, and I work hard to do what I do, and I make my decisions according to what's best for the world.
Well, let's all agree, though, that within the context of what goes on in this sport, it would be nice to see Bernard Hopkins get a greater financial reward somehow, somewhere, for everything that he's put in.
Well, if y'all really want to help me, y'all pay me what I expect to be paid. Give us a 168-pound fight, and I'll go down to 168, and I'll fight him next week.
Enough
if you really
of
want
that.
to see him done some good, and you really want to see it, and since y'all want me to sacrifice my career for everybody.
No. We've got you a 42-1 favorite over Buster Douglas right now. Dan Goosen congratulating Hopkins, and let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Rudy Battle calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 1 minute of round number 6. The winner and still IBF middleweight champion of the world, the pride of Philadelphia, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. For the always game 2-time world champion Simon Brown.
Final punch stat numbers, and you see the disparity there. I told you we'd have some one-sided punch stat numbers. 159 to 39 landed, 290 to 152 thrown, more than double the percentage. That was a thoroughly dominant performance by Bernard Hopkins.
A very dominating performance.
And let's go to Larry Merchant with Bernard.
I'm having nightmares. I can't sleep.
Thank you, guys. Bernard, congratulations. You said you wanted to put on a big performance. Do you feel you did what you came to do?
Yes, I did. I showed my skills. But first, I had to thank God, my family, everybody up in North Philly, Germantown. I'd like to thank the New Jersey Commission down here. America Presents, Dan Goosen and Matt Tinley, the greatest promoters around. I got a new life, a new spirit. I'm ready to take on anybody. Yes, I did my job in Bowie Fisher. My good training. I've been with me 10 years. Merchant, I took my time. You seen that Simon was a veteran. I set up the jab. My trainer said, listen, set up the jab. You just as strong. You want to be a boxer all of a sudden because you proved that you can box financial counsel. So I settled down and I threw my jab and I ended early. I think if I'd have done it a little earlier, it would have been over early.
You're calling out Roy Jones, who is thinking of moving up to the heavyweight division. I don't think you want to move up there to get him, do you?
Look at me. I'm skin and bones. I don't want to move there. Light heavy, super middleweight. It all depends on who the opponent is, from 154 all the way up to light heavyweight. I wanted to take that chance, man. You talked about it. And listen, that's what champions do. They take risks. And Robinson did when he fought light heavyweight in his day. So I want to take the chance to prove I'm the best and be here on HBO next time.
All right. We hope to see you again, Bernard. Congratulations once again, Jim.
All right. Thanks very much. Let's talk about the art of the possible a second. I mean, just in that neighborhood, 160 pounds. The other two champions, Keith Holmes and William Joppy. How did Bernard match up against either of those two guys?
Well, I think Bernard is clearly the best middleweight out there today. I think there are one or two guys in the junior middleweight division that could be a good fight for him. He has one or two good fights on in the super middleweight division, but he is clearly the best middleweight right now.
And despite how buffed he looks at 160, you think he could, if necessary, go down to 54?
Yeah, because the highest he got after this fight is 166. That's not far at all. I told you, when I used to fight 160, I used to go all the way back up to 174 the day of the fight. And I came here at weighing in at 160 tonight. Weighing in yesterday at 160, I'd have been 175 tonight.
Yeah, that's a difference. Boxing After Dark, 6 days from now in Connecticut. You going back home to Pensacola in between?
Yeah.
Travel safely, big guy.
All right, thank you.
All right. Larry Merchant rejoins us here at ringside. And Larry, it's been a long evening, but in the end, an explosive one with Hopkins' performance against Simon Brown.
Yeah, well, we needed something to wake us up a little bit. This was not your typical or basic Boxing After Dark evening with really spirited a competition from both sides. They were the first fight with David Reed did have some good competition. I can't come to any big conclusions here. Bernard Hopkins did what he had to do. So did Reed. I don't think Rahman did. But just another night at the fights, and we'll be back in 6 days to see if we can have a better one.
And Rahman does get the victory, which is, of course, the most important objective at all. He stayed unbeaten. Hopkins proved himself the best-looking middleweight in the world. We'll have a final word on what happened in the ring in just a moment. Let's look ahead to some upcoming programs.
It's a long, hard road to become the best in the light heavyweight division. And for undefeated champ William Guthrie, the path leads through the immovable Reggie Sweet Johnson. One road, one goal. Plus, the road to greatness is wide open for undefeated lightweight champion Sugar Shane Mosley, who could face an uphill battle with #1 contender Demetrios Avalos. Live Friday night at 10:30. HBO Boxing After Dark. Some of the best in the business work the night shift.
Next Saturday on HBO. See the king of all media enjoy his reign.
It's the hottest DJ in New York.
We are gathered here today in praise of me.
And the princes of porn bring fantasy to life.
You have to be some kind of a writer to do this. You know that you're a natural for talent?
Next Saturday night, it's the premiere of Private Parts at 9, followed by Real Sex 19 at 11. Next Saturday on HBO.
February 28th, tune in for the Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya here on HBO against Frenchman Patrick Charpentier. Also, junior middleweight Keith Mullings, who recently upset Terry Norris, takes on David Charlante. And in March, tune in for Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, an investigation into the current Arizona State point-shaving scandal, a look at Mount Zion Christian Academy in Durham, North Carolina, a traditional high school basketball powerhouse. Earlier here this evening, 154-pound fighter, professional prospect expect. American Olympic gold medal winner David Reed remained unbeaten in his 7th professional fight as he departed.